Hello, we are Group 11, and today we are going to prove to you that information technology is improving education. Information technology is democratizing education. While they might not come with the same pedigree as courses or degrees from long-standing educational institutions, online courses and micro-degrees from reputable online platforms like Khan Academy and Udacity provide as good or better educational content than their physical competition. Further, considering the prevalence of crippling student debt in countries like the United States, these platforms provide education at lesser or no cost to the student. Information technology is commonly used in industry as well, especially when training new employees on protocols or best practices through structured programs. This allows training practices to be uniform across all branches of a company, no matter how far away they are from each other. We must acknowledge that there are many fraudulent online programs, especially coding camps, that are backed by swindlers rather than by competent educators. But many consumers are more aware of these schemes in the wake of federal investigations into fraudulent universities in the United States. Further, there is no data to suggest that this issue is related to programs offered online. Hence, we should judge these programs based on the quality, accessibility, and the cost of education they provide. All metrics where platforms like Khan Academy perform very well. The effect of information technology is even more prominent in earlier education. There are many efforts to increase engagement with course content by gamifying the experience or otherwise helping students learn more actively. Prodigy Games for grades 1 to 8 is a great example. These programs allow teachers to provide a less monotonous form of learning with case study-like activities. Most people can relate to having a bad teacher or professor who made it difficult to learn. This makes it very challenging for students to get the most out of a course that they may have been very interested in at first. Considering those experiences, delivering education through information technology is beneficial because educators can provide a consistent, controllable experience backed by expert opinion and expertise, rather than rely on a teacher who could be hit or miss. Essentially, it is easier to control and implement best practices with information technology than with a human. For example, consider the Y Combinator startup school. Eric Mijakovsky, partner at Y Combinator and former founder of smartwatch pioneer Pebble, recently said during a talk at the University of Waterloo, "You can get a lot of bad advice from various sources on how to do a startup. Startup School has been vetted by successful business people and startups to convey the actual best practices for a startup in an organized manner. And it's free." On top of content quality, how education is delivered is important too. Consider mathematics as an example. There are few tools for learning math that go beyond traditional chalk and blackboard techniques. This is a problem because approximately 65% of the population are visual learners, 30% are auditory learners, and 5% are kinesthetic learners. Traditional ways of teaching math do not address the visual and kinesthetic learners. They focus on the auditory and the ability to memorize patterns and relationships. Whiteboard content is not visual because it is considered to be supplementary to auditory learning, such as to write down important highlights from oral lectures. So this means that in any traditional classroom, grade school through college, only 30% of the students are likely to master or even understand math. Thus, without information technology to address various types of learning styles, the efficiency of traditional schooling is intrinsically poor. This example implies that not all materials should be taught in traditional ways like lectures and textbooks, either because they do not address different learning styles or because it is more efficient to use technology to tell the tale. For an example of the latter, as an instructor, how can you decently represent a mass spring system on a whiteboard? You could do this by drawing it frame by frame. That takes a great deal of time and effort. You could also buy a mass in spring for a live demonstration, but that would be expensive, and not all concepts can be manually explained easily or efficiently, such as Dijkstra's algorithm for finding the shortest path between two nodes. If someone creates a good visual explanation of a mass spring scenario for physics and makes it publicly available through information technology, teachers everywhere can use it instead of wasting time and money to create their own. Information technology isn't only helpful in delivering educational content. It can also help students find useful information and connect to the various stakeholders in education. Encyclopedias and other research materials are online and searchable, providing students with quick access to relevant information without requiring them to waste time physically traveling to a library. This is especially helpful for people with accessibility issues because they can more fully participate in education. Our opponents may misconstrue this point by saying, they mentioned online encyclopedias, but Wikipedia shouldn't be used for research. But students often have access to professional literature databases. For example, University of Waterloo students have access to the Scopus database. This allows students to have direct access to peer-reviewed scientific literature for their assignments and research projects. Obviously, the use of this information technology improves the quality of education at the university. Learning aggregation or administration services, like the Learn platform we use at the University of Waterloo, have been essential to the improvement of education through information technology. They connect each individual student with not only the courses they are taking, but also with their classmates and instructors via discussion boards. These enable students to access teachers, resources, and assignments via the web browser whenever and wherever they have an internet connection. For students who need to spend more time practicing a concept, online exercises and curriculum can also help them work at their own pace and still keep up with their peers. Learn provides emails of classmates to encourage collaboration, as well as built-in chat features that is meant for aiding students with their coursework. In a less structured environment, students can communicate with teachers or peers via email, social media, or other such applications whenever the internet is available. Members of the 2019 Management Engineering cohort on Facebook regularly share educational content or things like missed tutorial solutions to help ensure that no one gets left behind. For educators, applications like Google Forms for quizzes automate marking to save time. Parents are one of the stakeholders in education that benefit from information technology. Parental contribution is another factor impacting student accomplishment that can expand with technology. Most guardians nowadays have extremely bustling schedules. In turn, they may not have time to assist their child with homework or come to class for conferences. Technology can help. Parents may be able to meet with teachers via web conferencing or other online collaboration tools. Additionally, they can check their child's attendance, assignments, and grades through online frameworks. They can likewise converse with their children from work via email, texting, and video calling. With their children's information readily available to them, parents have an easier time being involved in their children's education, and thus are more inclined to get involved. In the past, parents were hesitant to send their students to school far away because they were worried that without direct contact, the culture shock of going from high school to university would be too much. Using applications like FaceTime and Skype has made it easier than ever for people to stay in touch from long distances. Thanks to information technology, potential students and attached parents can feel more secure to search out the best education opportunities for their child, even if those opportunities are far away from home. We'd like to thank you for your time and hope we have convinced you that when it comes to education, information technology has had an overall positive impact.